Hello everyone, I'd like to take this opportunity to remind you that the disclaimer for this video can be found down in the description via the link, and that information in this video is for entertainment and informational purposes only. This is not a how-to video or a training video or any type of a tutorial. So guys, enjoy the video. So the 20-pound tanks are typically going to be on, your normal grills. Occasionally a Blackstone will have a 30-pound, but these are like normally $20 when you go to, in our area at least, when you go to the gas station and you want to exchange them. So I had always wondered, because I use a decent amount of propane. I use a weed burner torch for burning or lighting fires, and I got multiple grills, Blackstones, that kind of thing. So I always wondered how a person could fill the tank off of the big tank, because there's approximately 4.3 gallons in these tanks. And propane, my last time I bought propane, it was $1.50 a gallon. So, to me, it was $7 worth of propane. And why pay 20 if you can get it for 7? So I'm going to show you what I figured out on how to transfer propane from the big tank. So first of all, this stuff is really dangerous. I'm in the heating and cooling business, and I have a background in dealing with, basically natural gas piping, propane gas piping, and I understand how this chemical works. So if you're not sure about it, please don't wreck yourself here. This stuff is dangerous. It's flammable. It's a big deal if you don't know what you're doing. I do know what I'm doing, and I'm not nervous about it, so I'm just going to share with you. I basically figured out through a source at a propane company what the name of the connection was for the tank. I found that connection type, and it went to a flare. Then I made a grouping of kind of valves and cables and connections to get from that flare connection to what's called a POL connection. That is the connection that's on these 20-pound tanks. So basically, if I were, and I also understand my wind, I've got a wind blowing to my right. So basically right here, I have live propane. I mean, if I had a flame on that, that'd be like if you're in Vegas and you're, So like I said, don't screw around with this stuff unless you know what you're doing. We're not smoking cigarettes around this thing. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this connection right here. I'm gonna connect it to the propane tank. And I have to be very careful how much propane I put in here. This is a 20-pound tank, and right up on here it says TW18. In some cases it says TW17.9. That means an empty tank has a tare weight of 17.9, or in this case 18 pounds. So I am going to set this on a very accurate refrigerant scale. Again, heating and cooling business, I have a refrigerant scale, and right now I'm looking at 18.44 pounds right here. That's basically just the tank. So I have essentially 0.4 pounds of propane in that tank. So my goal is to get from the 18.4 pounds, I want to get up to 38. I do not want to overfill these tanks. They have to have a certain volume of liquid and vapor, and I don't want to overfill them, because if you get liquid coming out of these propane tanks because you overfill them, you could have serious issues with your grill flaming up or whatever it is you have. So again, you got to know what you're doing with this stuff. So I'm going to show you how I connect it, and we're going to get this thing filled. All right, so we're getting this thing connected here, and I've just got a little POL connection here. I have, the unit is tight. I have this off. I'm going to turn my pressure on. I'm going to stand so that the wind is at my back. I'm going to gently let that pressure go. I'm going to bleed this just a little bit. Okay, so now I'm live. I got propane. I got liquid propane gas all the way up to right here. I'm sitting at, well, it says 19 pounds, but that's really just the weight of this right here. Again, very accurate scale. So I am on, I am live, and I'm going to open this thing up, and I am now putting liquid propane gas in there. I'm at 20, I'm at 20.5, so I'm filling right now. I will say that this is not a flawless way to do it. Really, the right way to transfer these is to be certified, to have
PPE, to have the correct connections in a safe environment with training, and basically then you would be knowing how to keep yourself safe and so on. Also, you know, I'm up to 24 pounds already. Also, what a person should really have is really these tanks are going to balance out. Okay, so they're equal temperature, they've both been outside, and these tanks are going to balance out, and I'm not going to get a full 20 pounds in there because a portion of the tank is going to have vapor in it, and then, you know, basically I'll get it 2/3 full, and then it's going to stop rising. So I'm up to 27 pounds now, so I still got gas flowing right now, but I'm going to reach a point where I have a balancing out where there's more vapor in the tank than what I want, and liquid's not going to flow. So when I get to that point, all I'm going to do is crack the bleeder screw, and I'm going to let a little vapor out, and I'm going to get this thing up to 20 pounds worth. And I am going to lose a little bit of gas in the wind, but you know, again, $7 versus 20. If I lose 25 cents worth of gas in the wind, I'm gonna call it good with $7.25 versus, you know, $20 or $21 with tax. So I'm up to 30 pounds, and I'll be right back here when I start to crack the bleeder screw. We've been going here for maybe 5 minutes, and I'm sitting at 32 pounds. So what I was saying before is you get like 2/3 roughly of the tank filled, and then you get that balancing point where there's too much vapor in the tank, because the tank began full of vapor and had very little liquid in it, and now I'm trying to force liquid in, but you know, basically I got to let a little bit of that pressure off of there. It's really hard to understand if you haven't like had experience with it, but basically what I'm going to do here is I've kind of had a stop of flow here. I'm at 32.4, 32.5. Again, my wind is blowing this way. I'm going to just crack this bleeder screw right here, and there is just a tiny bit of air. I mean, it's not really air, it's propane vapor, but there's a tiny bit of propane vapor that is escaping right now through that bleeder. I don't know if you can really hear it, but it's making like a little, like a gentle sound, and my number is rising pretty rapidly. I'm at 32.8, 32.9. Something is happening right here. This thing is starting to spit liquid. So I am at 38.25 pounds, which again, minus the tare weight, makes 20 pounds. Almost exactly at 38 pounds, that thing started spitting some liquid out, and that's my cue that I am full, I'm done, I can't go any farther, and so this thing is basically done. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to turn this off. I am going to shut my valve off here. I'm going to turn this into the wind. I'm going to bleed this off. And I just filled up my tank for $7. And I'm going to be ready to fill up the next one. So, all right, guys, again, I'm just showing you how to do this. I'm not telling you this is an official procedure or anything. It works for me. I just filled this tank for $7, so you can't dispute that. But obviously, it's super unsafe if you're not prepared or understand exactly what you're doing out here. So, all right, guys, if you liked the episode, remember to click for me. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next episode of Animals House.